Hi, I'm Nathan Oakley and this is video log number 77. Flat Earth proof is something that people who've been doing Flat Earth for a long time will take for granted, and I consider myself quite new to Flat Earth, and even I take a lot of this for granted. And David Weiss of Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole, and he also has a radio broadcast which is called, let me get this correct, Truth is Stranger Than Lies, and he'd been doing a recent series that was sort of a challenge, if you like, to do the shortest Flat Earth proof. And then tonight, or literally in the last few minutes, Bob, or Xanadude, from the Globebusters team was mentioning that he had a desire to get some of the more simplistic proofs out there, and it was a really touching moment because he was talking about heterodyning, and I'd sort of, in my ignorance, said, I don't have a clue what that is, can you just explain it? And he did it on the show. It was from a comment from some time ago, and that kind of made me think, well, yeah, I've kind of had a yearning myself to keep things flat earth since the beginning of doing video logs and wanting to just keep that the main subject. So I thought I'd pick one for a video log and just say, well, this is my version of a simple flat earth proof for any newbie that might come across this video, and say a new subscriber. I don't get hundreds of subscribers a day like the Morgile, but nonetheless a newbie who comes to my videos and goes, well, what's flat earth all about? Why is it that they're so convinced? So I've set up a shot behind me, and it's actually from The Aviator, and we've got a bit of an interesting character who's been recently in front of the Pope, for anybody who's in Flat Earth at the moment talking about Flat Earth, albeit in a negative way. But the reason I've got that picture set up is because they're filming something, they're producing something, and what they produce for you is presented, in the case of the movie, it's a 16:9 format on a big screen, or on a DVD at home or whatever, but you're being presented with information, fictional information, and it's the suspension of disbelief. And when it comes to the globe, that's where the reality is embedded in all of our minds. So we have this picture, this idea of a globe, and we have that idea given to us by the ident. The beginning part of every single movie from Universal, you see a globe, and that globe has progressively got better and better over the years. But the examples don't stop there. There's infinite numbers of globe examples that are given to us through this screen, and that screen is what tells you that you are on a globe. In reality, when you stop looking at the television screen and you go outside, and I don't want to reel off the tests, doesn't matter what I say, there is no curve, and this is the meat of Flat Earth. The people presenting you the information may present it in a number of different ways, in books, with mathematics, but the modern way is always going to be through that screen. You're watching me on it right now, and when you search for something, the skew, the general consensus of society is globe, because we've all had it ingrained in us for a long time. But the reality, as I say, is very, very much the contrary to what we're told with the pictures and the suspensions of disbelief that we have to endure on our televisions, our iPads and our mobile phones, because there isn't a curve. The place that we live doesn't fall away from us as the heliocentric maths dictates at 8 inches per mile squared. In fact, it doesn't fall away at all. You can see the boat, which is the most common proof of the globe. The ships do not go over a curve in our Earth. You just have to pick up something with an extended zoom, and the boat will come back into view, and you can keep repeating this process. Now, again, a glober would say, well, why can't I see all the way to another continent? Well, there's atmosphere that gets in the way, and the further you look, the more of that atmosphere is condensed in front of you, and therefore shortening the actual overall distance that you can see. But it doesn't change the fact that the boat doesn't fall over a curve that's measured at 8 inches per mile squared, because there is no curve. We live on Flat Earth. I've been Nathan Oakley. I'll see you all in the next video.